Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey, good news. We are officially live, so I'll jump in. Hey, everybody who's tuning in live, or if you're catching this on a replay, welcome to our post-show wrap-up video here on the Central Pennsylvania Shrimp Tank, brought to you from our studio here in the metropolis of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. Yes, 2 L's in Dillsburg. I'm your host, Nathan Aboden, alongside wonderful co-host George Book, President and CEO of the West Shore Chamber of Commerce. We just got done interviewing Dale Fallon, who is the founder and president of The Communication Gym, and you can find a full replay of his broadcast on our website. It'll be there in about a week or so on shrimptankpodcast.com/centralpa. Also, if you're tuning in live and you have not liked our page yet on Facebook or on LinkedIn or Instagram, find the Central PA Shrimp Tank, click that like and follow button so you can stay up to date on all of these interviews. Also, please sure to share this video, like this video, push it out so we can keep pushing this message of entrepreneurship and small business ownership to everybody through those here in Central Pennsylvania. And on the podcast, we got to interview Dale and hear all about his story, about why, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here on this wrap-up video, why he started the Communication Gym. We learned about his journey, about the importance of communication, about how it affects really every piece of our lives. But if you really want to find out the smallest person who has ever taken Dale down, you got to check out the full podcast. So again, go to our website, shrimptankpodcast.com, in about a week or so to catch that full episode. But without further ado, Dale, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for jumping on live with us.
Great to be here.
Why don't you just give a brief introduction to yourself, give the folks who are tuning in a little information about who you are, and talk about the gym.
Great. Well, thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. And I am the founder of the Communication Gym. We started in 2005. I'm a father of 3, grandfather of 1. The 3 are all up and out and out and living in the world and doing their thing and enjoying the grandfather role as well. I think I said I started the Communication Gym in 2005. Prior to that, I was a small business and leadership coach. And that goes way back, but I started that full time and became a self-employed entrepreneur in 1990. So when I was 30 years old at the time, started a couple different companies and doing a lot of executive and small business coaching. And that moved its way towards communication as a critical and fundamental need. And what kept coming back up in my conversations with my teams and people that I was working with was the way we communicate together and the inability that a lot of leaders had to get their messages out or to create the culture that they wanted relative to the way they connected with each other. So I saw a need in the market and recognized that really at the base of everything is the way we communicate with ourselves and the way we communicate with each other. And that's what started the Communication Gym. We call it the gym because it's about doing the work. It's not about reading a book on communication or watching a great communicator. It's actually about doing the thing and practicing the skill. We've only got one instrument for communication when it relates to face-to-face, and that's our words and our body.
Yeah.
And we got to learn to use those things in the best way possible. So that's what the gym is about, getting you to a point where you really have those skills down and they have a big impact on your life.
Yeah. Well, and George, you had mentioned a great phrase, and I wrote it down, about practice makes, and I'll let you finish the story because, I'll just let you tell the story because I've known the phrase in the other way.
Right. So I think the one thing I've had conversation with many people about is you say the term practice makes, and everybody immediately goes, well, practice makes perfect. That's not actually correct. Practice makes permanent. And so if you do the wrong things and practice the wrong things, the end result is still wrong. And I think that's one thing that I've learned from Dale over the years is that when you practice good communication skills, when you practice the fundamentals of what it means to be a good communicator, you're not achieving perfection, but you're achieving permanence. And so those basic skills that you can learn at the gym are things that will continue with you as you progress, get better, just like in sports. When you practice and practice and practice the right things, you will get better and become competent. Communication is no different. And that's why I like what Dale does, and the way in which he does things at the gym are to achieve that permanence of good communication.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Dale. Sorry.
I would say we want those fundamentals, George, you touch on are so critical. They're across the board in every aspect of life, both personal and professional.
Yes.
The more effective you are as a communicator, the better your relationships are, the better understanding you have of the world around you, and the more competent you are to solve problems. And what we're really promoting is very similar to a physical fitness gym, where if you want to stay healthy, you should be working out at some level through the course of your life.
Right.
If you want to have healthy relationships, you should be practicing and developing your communication skills through the course of your life, because it has a dramatic impact. I was listening to an interview with a 93-year-old cellist the other day, and the interviewer said, you practice still 3 hours a day. You're 90. Why are you practicing 3 hours a day? He's like, I think I'm getting better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, George, you were talking about I wrote down the term unique ability of what Dale's doing relative to what I say typical training might be available in the marketplace. Why don't you touch on that, and then maybe you could speak to that as well.
Yeah, I think, and it touches a little bit on what we talked about in terms of training for permanence, right? So the skills that you're going to learn, you have the unique ability to go to Dale's communication gym, and regardless of where you're at in life, right? Whatever your job is, whatever your role is, wherever you are, be it young or old or anything in between, you're able to learn and grow through what Dale is able to offer at the gym, right? People think of fitness gyms as just for people who want to be athletic or work out, but that's not the case. It applies to everyone, right? Anyone who wants to improve their fitness goes there. The communication gym, to me, is no different. So Dale, talk a little bit about how that sort of applies to any person at any age, at any stage, and how that can be beneficial for them as they move forward with their life, really.
Yeah. And it's a great point, George, because no matter where you're at, you have a comfort zone. You've got an edge of that comfort zone, and there are skills outside of that comfort zone that you're not very good at, that you need to, that you'll benefit from developing. So we provide through our curriculum that varies from you're walking into your career on day one and you need to learn just how to open up a conversation or just some basic professional networking skills. Those are fundamental skills that you can learn and develop and start to grow that comfort zone. If you're an experienced leader, I had a meeting earlier today with someone who's been in business for 40 plus years in the financial industry, and he's wanting to do a better job of expressing his brand so that he's attracting more authentically connected people to what he's doing. So that's at every stage of life, there's the next challenge and there's the next opportunity for you to grow. And if you're continuing that evolution, then you're going to have the skills, or at least have the opportunity to develop the skills to master that next step. And it's just so critical. It's such a critical skill, and there is no ceiling to effective communication. It's something that you can always do. And again, it doesn't just translate into professional. In our personal lives, we have difficult conversations that we need to have with our spouse, with our family, with our, how do we take care of mom? How do we take care of each other? Those aren't easy things to do. Right. So building those skills, especially the foundational skills, are going to help you have better outcomes in those conversations. And the other thing, one more thing on it, is when you start to get better outcomes, and I think where a lot of people miss this, is they don't recognize how much influence they can have on those outcomes. Right. And when you start building the fact that, okay, I've got some agency here, I can have a better outcome than I might have had yesterday or last week because of these skills I've learned. Then you recognize that I can do that again, and I can do that again. And that upward spiral, it has an impact on everything. It has impact on your income, has an impact on your career, it has an impact on your personal relationships. It's really a powerful tool.
You called it what? Unconscious or subconscious?
Unconscious competence.
There it is. Yeah.
And that means you just do it without thinking about it. That's right. You go back to, we talked about martial arts in the larger interview. You don't want, if someone's got a knife in front of you, you don't want to be thinking, okay, put foot A, B, step here, do this. Right. You're just going to go with whatever your competence level is.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're in front of your boss or a client or your significant other trying to have a serious conversation, you don't want to be thinking about those things. You want to be present in the moment. You want to have the skills available to you to be present in the moment.
Yeah. Fantastic. So I want to talk about the offerings that and the core competencies, if you will, of the gym here going forward. Before I do that, I just like to remind everybody, if you like what we're doing, please be sure to hit that like button, click that follow button here on this page, share these videos so that we can be pushing this message out to everybody and spreading the message of both what the shrimp tank's doing and also in this case, what Dale's doing as well. So let's talk about the professional practice groups. And I was fortunate to be part of I'll call it a different variation of a professional practice group, which was in person in an in-person setting, big group, similar idea, just it was done in person. But now through relaunching in the beginning of the pandemic, kind of forced the hand to move in a virtual way. So why don't you talk about those core competencies in the professional practice groups that Jim is now offering?
Excellent. So we do individual coaching as well, and we work with individuals who are working on their communication skills. But one of our core offerings is the professional practice group. And it gives you an opportunity to not only develop your skills, and when we say practice, we mean practice. It's not we sit and watch PowerPoints together. It's you do your presentation and I learn from it, and you do your presentation and I learn from it. And we practice the back and forth and give and take of those fundamental skills. And those professional practice groups provide the forum for ongoing development. And it really provides a great opportunity for people to not only learn from each other and learn from the coaching, but also be challenged and supported at the same time. We touched on that in the deeper interview as well. By way of example, one of our practice groups is called the Ideal Client Professional Practice Group. And that is a group of sales professionals who are focusing on how to attract, earn, and retain the business of ideal clients, not how to sell, but how to attract, earn, and retain the business of ideal clients, of people that they want to be doing business with, people that are aligned with their organizational culture and their pricing structure and all of those things. And it just creates a really powerful dynamic and moves sales professionals from a commission breath standpoint, where I've got to get out there and I need it.
Gotta sell.
Yeah, I got to sell. And puts you in more of a powerful position where you are bringing in the type of business that you want, having the types of conversations and changing your leadership dynamic within the sales process. So that's one example of that. Another example is our MVP program, which is a leadership development program where you focus on being able to clearly, consistently, and congruently answer some of the big questions of leadership. So M is for motivation, V is for vision, and P is for philosophy. What's your vision? What do you see as a leader, the outcome of your work being in 2 or 3 or 5 years? What does it look like when our work is moved forward? What is your motivation for doing that? Why is that important? I think that's one of the things that coaching has helped uncover over the past 15 or 20 years or so, is it's so important to understand your why. And to have a congruent and consistent why and be able to communicate that to others. And then you focus on building out your philosophy. And what it becomes is a core skill set that you develop a bunch of other skills around as you improve your leadership character, your competence, and your presence by aligning what you think with what you say with what you do.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's a powerful program. It's great. It's really getting good results.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that you mentioned too, Dale, is it gives you the opportunity now in this virtual world that you can bring together people from all across the United States, in fact, all across the world, to be able to use their different lenses and their different views on things to be able to, again, help we as class members to be able to understand what does that look like and why is the perception different from someone in a different part of the country or the world as opposed to what I'm looking at. And so you're getting much more, I would say, a look from around versus a look from local, right? It becomes much broader, and the perception is just, it's varied. It's not just a single view, it's multiple views.
Yep. Yeah, that's 100% right. And those other views, that other perspective can tweak you in a way that brings huge impact for you. And it really does, it goes a long way. I think the other thing to note about the professional practice groups is too often people, if you're going to practice something outside your comfort zone, you're not going to be good at it. You're going to be bad at it. Well, you shouldn't be doing that with your clients. You shouldn't be doing that with your prospects. Hey, let me try this new trick on you and see if it works. Let me try this new communication strategy. the time to do that is when you're in a group of peers who are there to support you, but also challenge you and say, you know, that was good, but I think you can do better. I've seen you do better than that. Or to give you that type of feedback you were just mentioning, George, that sounds great, but it wouldn't fly here. And let me tell you why. And so you start to get this dynamic of high trust, high support, and high challenge, which is really what makes for exceptional development.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, George, I think that might be a good segue into the offering that the Dale and the Gym is going to graciously make for chamber members. So, do you want to maybe touch on that?
Sure, Dale. Do you want to start?
Sure. Appreciate being on the Shrimp Tank, and I love the work that you guys are doing for this community. For, you know, my roots are in small business. That's what got me here today. So, and the West Shore Chamber played a big player in helping us in our success. Very involved. So, what I'd love to do to give back is to offer a 1-hour open gym session to the West Shore Chamber community. That would be at no cost. We'll take that just as a way to give back. We'll focus on some of those fundamental skills that we talked about and give everybody an opportunity to learn some of those. And we'll bring the details to you in a little bit.
For those who are watching this and thinking, okay, that sounds interesting, why don't you give them an idea of what the gym session might actually look like, what they can experience, or what the expectations are for when they jump in?
So what we'll do is we start out with one of those fundamental skills that you can implement at any point in time. We'll probably, for a 1-hour session, we'll talk about 2 skills, and we'll introduce you to those skills and give you enough so that you can be consciously competent. What I mean by that is you can think about it and you can do it, right?
Yeah.
So in the moment you think about it and you do it. And then you're going to go through some practice. We'll go into breakout rooms and you're going to try it. It's not getting 100 things, because if you literally leave with those 2 skills and then you take the initiative to go forward and start to implement them in your world, you get immediate results. You get an immediate transition and improvement on your communication skills. So we introduce you to a skill set, give you an opportunity to practice it, give us some coaching and feedback. And also there's a nice networking component too. You get to know some of the other members in it, and then give you some send-off practice tips so that you can do that practice so that fundamental becomes permanent for you.
Yeah. Awesome.
I would say if people are looking to try and find out more about this, be on the lookout at the chamber website at wschamber.org. We'll be posting some information up shortly after this, probably in the next week or so that you can figure out how to be a part of a class with Dale and the Gym to really impact not only your life, but the lives of those around you as well.
Yeah. Fantastic. Dale, thank you so much for making that offering available to chamber members and helping to impact the lives of those that are going to partake in that. So for people who are tuning in and are saying, yep, this is for me, I need to be a part of this, my organization needs this, what's the best way for them to find out more about the Gym and get in touch with you?
The best way to go is to go to www.thecommunicationgym.com. Our website has a listing for some professional practice groups. You can also reach out and contact me directly through the website. We are also on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube. So if you're in those arenas, you can check that out as well. The most direct route is go to thecommunicationgym.com, click on the contact button, and shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you.
Fantastic. Yeah. Dale, thank you again so much. Thanks for sharing all you did earlier on the full episode. Thanks for jumping on live here and sharing with everybody that's out there. Just really appreciate all the hard work that you've done. As a personal testament, I just really appreciate the friend that you are and the role that you've played in my life personally. And I'm so thankful to have you in this community and helping now, but being able to branch out across the United States and internationally as well. I think it's fantastic. And as I said earlier, I look forward to a year, 2 years from now, doing update episodes to just find out what the future has brought to you and the Communication Gym. But thank you again. I really appreciate you taking time out to be here and for all that you're doing to help shape and change the lives of those through the way they communicate.
It's my pleasure, Nathan and George. Thank you. I really enjoyed being here. Great conversation.
Awesome. George, as always, a pleasure.
Absolutely, sir. Appreciate it.
Everybody at home, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Central PA Shrimp Tank. Take care.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and